Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your super noisy race announcer from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, we're going to talk about the scale. That's right. Your arch enemy, your nemesis, the dreaded evil scale. No, it's not evil at all. In fact, I love the scale. I love the scale. And hopefully by the end of this show, you will love the scale too. The scale is important and necessary and our friend. So we will get there. This episode is not a poke. In fact, it's a regular size episode. I should call it like a fantastic size episode. It's not a poke. It's got to be something else that's grand and, I don't know. I'll think about it. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, my sign, my Fitzness neon sign that should be glowing above my head is not, because apparently the little button that resets the power in your outlets, I don't know where that is. I don't know which outlet has the test and reset button, and I can't find it, and I just gave up. So my sign is not broken. The power is not coming here, although the power is working for my ring light, which is quite suspicious. But anyways, that's a different story, and I will deal with that at another point. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click subscribe wherever you listen to the Fitzness Show. That's how you get updates that I have made more noise for you. That's right. I've yammered on, and Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or wherever you listen, they will say, hey, Fitz has said some things. You should listen. And then obviously you should. Life has been good lately. Before I get to the scale, I got to tell you, I was in, where was I? Detroit this weekend, which Detroit Women's Half Marathon, 10K, 5K, spectacular, always so much fun. I've been announcing this race since its second year, which the race is 14 years old now. So I guess I've done 13 out of the 14, but I have so many of my hotties from Michigan. So Katie and Jason and Jonelle and her boyfriend and Valerie and Kelly and Tony. And it was just a great day. And we got to celebrate Kelly Privette's 60th birthday. Happy birthday. Just fun to get together with everybody. And it makes my heart happy. I've got Dawn from Team Crash and all sorts of others in Detroit, which I love. But this is what I want to tell you is I'm flying home on Sunday after the race to go to my hotel. I get changed. I get to the airport, and I have a carry-on hard luggage that I pull on a wheel. And then I have a tote bag that has a little strap around the back that I can hook the strap on the tote bag and just pull through the airport. Very convenient. I've got the perfect setup at this point for travel. And I travel with hot hands. You might have seen this story on Instagram. I'm going to give you a little more in-depth, but the hot hands, the little packets that you can open up the second the air hits the baggie inside. It's like a bean bag, but it heats up. And then when you're cold, which I'm often cold, it keeps you warm. And then sometimes if I have a sore spot, they work as little mini heating pads, and they're just perfect. I order them by the case. I buy a box of 40 on Amazon. It's very affordable, like $30. And then I just shove them in my bag. I take them with me everywhere I go. Quite often, TSA will mention them. Sometimes I even put them in the outside pocket of the tote, and then I put them in the little plastic bin. So as they go through TSA, I can just say, hey, hot hands. They can isolate and look that, yes, those are the hot hands that look weird on the x-ray, and keep going. I often get searched. In fact, I get searched an awful lot. So I have a friend who, he's an ethnic guy, and he thinks he gets searched because he's an ethnic guy. And I said, no, I get searched, and I'm as plain as can be. Whatever plain is, I think I qualify, and they search the tar out of me. So I think I just look really sketchy or smell really sketchy or whatever. The ding, ding, dings don't even go off. They just go, you know what? Let's look through her things. And that's fine. So anyways, I'm going through Detroit, and I put my tote bag on the conveyor belt along with the big luggage, and my tote bag goes through, and the lady's looking at it on the x-ray. So she can do the thing Iron Man does with computer stuff. She can spin around the contents with her magical hands. And I'm looking, and I see a blob in the tote bag, and I'm thinking, gosh, what are they looking at? 'Cause it looks green. And it takes me a couple of moments, but then I shout out to her. I go, hey, I have hot hands in there, if that's what you're looking at. So then she calls another TSA agent over. They gather my tote bag and they bring it through to inspection. Now, some people online were like, just buy hot hands when you get to your destination. I don't normally have the leisure to roam around and go shopping and stuff. And also, I want the hot hands on the plane because the planes are cold and I put them in my pockets or like in my sports bra, by my neck, whatever. I use them on the plane. That's why I take them with me. Anyhow, so the TSA lady starts investigating my bag. She pulls out the hot hands. There's a guy with her. And then she grabs these swabs. Looks like a tissue, but apparently it's a magical tissue that can tell if it's swabbing bad things. So she swabs one of the hot hands and she gets a terrified look on her face. And she tells the guy, you stay here, hold this stuff. And she gets up and runs across TSA, gets on the phone. I'm watching her thinking, what is going on here, right? And so she makes a phone call, comes back. She says, we're waiting on the explosive specialist. Thinking, are you kidding me? But also fine. I have no problem with TSA doing their job. I am always grateful as long as the plane lands in one piece and I get off and go home or go to work. I got no complaints, even with delays. I got a real good attitude and I think that's justified. So anyways, not one, two, three explosive specialists come on out. And then I think at some point there's about 8 TSA agents hovering where I am. They shut down the lane where all the people were putting their stuff to be x-rayed. Now that's closed because Fitzkohler and her terrifying hot hands are on the scene and nobody can have access. So I'm just standing there. Also, I have to pee really bad thinking, oh, could you guys just hurry up? I have to use the restroom. But anywho, it was taking a while. And at first I thought it was kind of comical because how silly that me and my hot hands would be a cause for alarm. But then it took about 20 minutes. And so in my mind, I started thinking, well, gosh, did I leave my bag unattended? Is there any chance someone could have gotten into my bag? The answer is no. I went straight from my hotel room into the taxi, straight into the airport, did not leave my bag anywhere, which I wouldn't have done anyways. And then it was taking so long, I thought, you know what? They're probably going to bring me into some room to interrogate me, right? I mean, this is getting serious. They look pretty cranky. And so at about the 20-minute mark, a TSA agent passed me by and I said, those hot hands are starting to make me feel like a criminal. And she looked and she said, don't. I said, are you sure? She said, yeah, it's okay. And so soon after that, one of the explosive specialists with the Kevlar vest and all the gear just in case, he tells me, he said, you can go, but you have to leave the hot hands. And I said, okay, you can keep the hot hands. I'm satisfied being cold. Also, they had also taken my driver's license. They took my boarding pass, all the things. So it was pretty exciting. And I actually kind of wished that they would have brought me back for some interrogation. I had time before my flight and I thought, well, this could make for a much better story. But it didn't happen. So all's well that ends well. But yeah, I caused a ruckus in Detroit. And I thought that was kind of fun, kind of funny. And I now will try to make a deliberate effort. I will still take my hot hands, but I will always remove them from my bag and leave them in a pile. And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitzkohler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Also, get this. After all of that hullabaloo and all the investigation of my stuff, they left a pack of hot hands in my tote bag. That's right. They took the others. There were one just got left there. So do with that information whatever you want. But yeah, funny stuff. Funny stuff. So let's talk about the scale. So I start by saying our weight is important. It's not the only important factor, but I definitely believe our weight is important. It's a matter of health. And so factors that influence your health could be your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels and your heart rate and your mobility and your stamina and your strength and your balance. All of those factors are real, but your weight is also real because if you are too big for your body, and that's how I explain it to my kids, like some people outgrow the size they're supposed to be, outgrow the size their joints can handle without pain and lack of mobility, and your spinal column, right? It's only designed to hold a certain amount of human. And then if you go too big, then you start suffering the consequences of all the extra pressure on the discs in your spinal column. And then your joints can't bear the weight and your feet can't bear the weight. And it's just a trickle down cycle of misery, right? It's just going to make you miserable. Now, never once did I mention you won't look hot if you're not a certain weight. I don't care about that. That's your problem. Your weight is totally up to you and none of my business. However, know this, that if you do way too much, there will be consequences, the way you feel and the way you perform. And of course, the way you look. Although some people love a super big guy or super big gal. So again, your number is your business, but the scale is going to help us maintain a healthy weight. So many people, they say they hate the scale, they loathe the scale. The scale is the worst. The scale is simply a tool of measurement, much like a ruler, much like a tape measure, much like I don't know, a barometer. It's just a tool of measurements. A scale does not love you. Scale does not hate you. The scale is just there to give you information. And so you just need to use it in a productive way and make sure you don't use it in a negative way. And then the scale can be your friend. Your scale can actually assist you meeting your fitness goal. So know this, scale is not the enemy. It's as much of an enemy as your thermometer is when you have a fever. It's just going to tell you, hey, this is what's up. And then you can take that information and use it however you need to. Now, some people don't know how much they should weigh. And I'm not going to tell you how much you should weigh. It's incredible how many people will come up and say, Fitz, what should I weigh? I'm 5'11", blah, blah, blah. And of course, in my mind, oh, just know this. I'm kind of like a circus performer. I can guess a weight down to just a few pounds. It's just, I'm so proud of me, right? If fitness ever goes under, I'm joining the circus and I'm going to have one of those little booths where people pay $5 for me to guess their weight or they win a teddy bear. That's going to be my backup plan if this whole fitness thing doesn't work out. It's looking good so far, but you never know. But yeah, I can guess a weight. And then because of that, in my mind, I can probably guesstimate where a healthy weight would be. But I don't. I just don't go there. That's not who I am. So what I would encourage you to do, well, I'm going to start by discouraging you to look at generic charts. I don't think there's many productive, useful, helpful generic charts online where you say, I'm a 5'5" woman and boom, this is what you should weigh. I mean, they might tell you could weigh between 105 and 155. And that's a big freaking range. Does that make any sense to you? I don't know. I don't know if that 50-pound weight range for someone who's 5'5" is super helpful. And also that does not take into consideration your muscle mass and your body shape and so forth. So, I mean, within a small range, it might be kind of helpful, but I believe you probably know your fighting weight. I believe everybody has an idea of what their ideal weight would be. If you think about it, gosh, what did you weigh? Maybe it was in college or during your wedding or I don't know, whenever it was, maybe you were at your ideal weight once or at a weight where you felt the best. Aim for that. You know, the one person I would encourage you to discuss your weight with is your doctor, right? I'm not telling you, come to me, your friendly neighborhood fitness expert, and I'm going to tell you what to weigh. But your doctor perhaps is aware of your issues or non-issues with your spinal column and your joints and your blood work and so forth. So that might be a good person to discuss your weight with if you're really confused. But other than that, I think you probably have a number in your head. If I said, hey, wave a magic wand, decide what weight you're going to be right now, you'd go abracadabra, poof, and then you'd weigh this amount. That's what you should aim for. Now, you might be at that weight. If you are at your ideal weight, kudos, good for you, but the scale will help you stay there. If you're underweight, you still need to use the scale to figure out how to get where you got to go, right? And vice versa. If you use the exact formula for weight loss or weight gain, which is on the cover of fitzness.com, a very simple, strategic, effective way to manage your weight. I teach you how to eat the right amount of the right food for the size you want to be, whether you're gaining or losing or maintaining. the scale becomes an integral part of that equation because you got to know what you weigh. Now, I bring all of this up because one of my best friends, she's someone I reconnected with a year ago. She's had some health issues that have kept her inactive. And I told her about the formula and I said, "Hey, I know you're stuck in bed most of the time, but you can certainly lose weight just by using the exact formula for weight loss." And she said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay." And guess what? She lost 60 pounds. She's not out there running. She's not taking a Zumba class. She's not doing any of those things. In fact, she still moves not so much. I mean, she's moving more than she was, but 60 pounds down just by managing her intake. Incredible. And so we were talking about it, and she's let it slide a little bit. She's gained about 10, 15 pounds back. Life has happened, and she's let it go. She's thankfully reprioritized her weight, and she's got a bunch to take off because she's excited about becoming a mobile, active human again. And I'm so excited for her that I can't. Anyways, what she told me today, I said, "What is your weight? What was your weight at your highest, and what is your weight now?" And she said, "I'm not sure what my weight is now because I've been avoiding the scale." She said, "I think it's a certain amount. It's at least this amount, but it's probably more." And that's scary to me because that's how people let their weight get out of control. Blinders, it's sticking your head in the sand like an ostrich. If I don't see it, it's not true. I don't want to know the number. La 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 la, right? You're plugging your ears and you're not listening to the facts because they'll hurt your feelings. They'll make you sad. The truth hurts. Okay. Truth hurts. You know what also hurts? Heart attacks. Heart attacks hurt like a mother. I haven't had one, but this is what I've been told. You know what else hurts? Herniated discs. Why? Because you're way too much and ooh, that disc goes to pot. That hurts. And we will be right back. Wouldn't it be fun to feel like a celebrity on race day? Imagine if all the spectators between the start and finish line were calling your name. Well, they would if they could, and that's why you have to tell them by ordering the Name Bib Kit at penandpaces.com. It's a waterproof, tear-proof bib. You can put it on your chest. It comes with 2 sets of alphabet stickers for you to write your name. And so as you cruise on by, everyone can say, "Go Katie, go Jamal, go Susie," whoever you are, they're going to cheer for you. I promise. It's a special way to race. I ran the Boston Marathon with my name on my sports bra. Felt like everybody in the town of Boston was cheering, "Go Fitz." And I want that for you too. So head on over to penandpaces.com right now, order your race bib, and have the time of your life. We're back. So being overweight causes pain. That knee pain, that agonizing knee pain, and your hip pain and your sore feet, they hurt if you're overweight. The more you let that go, the worse that pain's going to get. So, yeah, the truth hurts, but only to your ego. And then once you have the information, you can use it to move in the right direction. So, please don't fear your scale. The scale does not hate you. It doesn't even love you. It just is going to give you information. And I'm expecting that since you listen to the Fitzness Show, you are a take action type of person. You are not someone who's being unaccountable for your own actions. I mean, maybe you were, but it sounds like right now, the fact that you listen to me yammer on, you tune in for my pokes, and you let me boss you around because you know I have your best interest in heart and you know my stuff. Sounds like you're a take action kind of person. So as I lean in right now, and you can't see me if you're only listening, but no, I'm getting closer and I bring out the magic finger and I am poking you hard because you have to prioritize a healthy weight. You might look sexy, you might look handsome, you might look pretty, you might be smart and funny and all of those things. But if you are not close to your ideal weight, if not at it on the dot, there will be consequences. You will feel less good, you will perform less well, and eventually the pain will come. Stiffness will come. You will be more likely to be injured if you are not at your ideal weight. And so don't F around. That's the whole F around and find out. I love that saying. That's one of my favorites lately. It makes me happy. But I don't want you to F around and find out. If you let things go crazy with your weight because you're putting the blinders on and plugging up your ears and la, 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 so that number doesn't hurt your feelings, well, then you're blowing it. You're blowing it big time. In fact, I didn't know my girlfriend I was just chatting about, but Michael Jones, who hopefully everybody knows who Michael Jones is. He's one of my poster boys. I met Michael, gosh, it's probably 12 years ago, and he was close to 100 pounds heavier than he is today. And he posted on, I think, LinkedIn, the story of him losing weight and talked about, I think he said he was at least 270 pounds, but he knew he was more than that, but he was afraid to look at the scale once he hit 270. So now he's about 180. He's lost 100 pounds and he's in incredible shape. And I'm so proud of him. But he's another one who said he feared looking at the scale. So please, please, please don't do that. If you don't own a scale, I want you to go buy a scale or order one online, whatever it is, bring a scale in. It doesn't have to be a $200 scale with all the bells and whistles and a singing thing. It just get a scale that will tell you your weight. That's all we need to know is what you weigh. You don't need to know your body fat percentage or whatever the heck else information your scale likes to give. And then this is how you use the scale. You step on it naked in the morning, right? First thing, you can get out of bed, you can use your restroom, the potty, the loo, however you want to phrase it. And then you step on your scale as naked as possible. Hopefully, you're willing to get naked with yourself, right? It's just you stripped down because I don't even care what your undies wear. Step on the scale and then write that number down. Just write it down. And at that point, you can decide, okay, I'm at my ideal weight. This is great. Happy here. Want to stay here. The exact formula will keep you at your goal weight. If you weigh 150 pounds and you'd like to stay there, well, 1,500 calories a day will keep you at your goal weight. If you weigh 150 pounds, but you really want to weigh 120, well, then you drop your caloric budget down to 1,200 calories a day, and then you track the progress, right? But you don't track it every day. What I want you to do is commit to getting on the scale once a week and only once a week. That's it. I know it's exciting when you're doing the work and you want to see progress, but hold off because getting on the scale every day or multiple times a day, you psychos, don't do that, can lead to frustration and insanity. You don't want to get on the scale once a day, certainly not multiple times a day, because our weight is naturally going to fluctuate with the amount of intake and the type of intake. And oh, by the way, are we expelling any of those things we just consumed? And so I don't care if you have a 32-ounce bottle of water and you drink that, you're going to weigh 2 pounds more than you did before you drank the water until you pee it out. So if you weigh, 200 pounds in the morning, I don't care what you weigh in the afternoon. I don't care what you weigh at night. It's wasting your time. It's causing you frustration. Don't do it. Instead, choose a day, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. Just pick a consistent day, and that will be the day that you step on the scale. And what you're trying to track is forward progress. So if you're 120 trying to get to 150, hopefully by the next week, you're at least 1 pound heavier. And the same thing for the next week, right? You're just looking to gain 1 or 2 pounds per week. If you are 150 and you're trying to get to 120, next week, maybe you're 149 or 148. And then the next week, 147, 146, right? We're looking for a downward trend. Simple things can affect your weight momentarily. If you've consumed a high sodium meal, maybe some Asian cuisine, you might be retaining water. If you have your period, ladies, gosh, I used to gain 8 pounds during my period. It was crazy. That's a wild time. But I also know that it's 3,500 calories extra. If you consume an extra 3,500 calories more than you burn, that's how you gain 1 pound. If you burn 3,500 calories more than you consume, you will lose 1 pound. So I would on Monday be a normal weight, and then on Tuesday I'd get my period and I'd be 8 pounds heavier. And then I would have to say, okay, is it possible you consumed an extra 30,000 calories between yesterday and today? And the answer was no. I knew it was just my body freaking out, and I just let it go. I just said, okay, I'm a woman. Hooray. I can't wait till this week is over. So know that there are certain things, a heavy meal, alcohol, but alcohol weight is usually permanent. So don't do that. Like limit your alcohol. That's a real quick way to gain a lot of weight. Yeah, I don't prefer that. Anyways, it's just we're looking for a downward trend. Sometimes you start using the exact formula, you get on the scale. After week 1, you're 7 pounds down. Hooray, that was incredible. The next week, you're 3 pounds down. Hooray, that was incredible. And the third week, you're frozen. You haven't lost a pound. Fourth week, haven't lost a pound. I don't know why our bodies just get stuck, but sometimes they do. And so your job, even if the scale gets stuck for a week or 2 or even 3, is to stay the course. You may want to go back to the drawing board and make sure you're being meticulous with your caloric budget and you're actually logging your actual calories as they stand. But if you are, then know that eventually those numbers will move in the direction you want to. And if not, maybe you're saying you're eating a bowl of cereal, but then you check the serving size and you're actually eating 3 serving sizes of cereal, then you modify your intake. But folks, you can do this stuff. I know you can. I know you're smart people, but you got to use the scale. I truly believe it's a wonderful tool for measurement. And our weight is really necessary. I think it's really important. It's vital to our health. You don't have to be perfect. Perfect's boring. I don't ask you to be perfect in any category, but you want to be healthy. You want to be in a good place that you feel good about and a place where your body performs well and feels great. And of course, it's wonderful when you like the way you look. So I've beat that horse to death. I'm going to stop, but yeah, treat yourself well and treat yourself to a scale. I think that's a wonderful part of health monitoring, and it's something you can do on your own. It's hard to draw your own blood and read your own cholesterol levels on a regular, but you can do that with the scale. The scale is a handy dandy tool to keep in your home and use regularly, and I encourage you to do so. Okay. Our communication tip of the week. I want you to have an elevator speech. That's right. I just got done speaking for the University of Florida today, a big group of graduating seniors. And, I step on the stage and I say, well, I'm Fitz Kohler. I am a fitness expert who specializes in mass media. I try to help people live better and longer by making fitness understandable, attainable, and fun. Boom. In less than 30 minutes or 30 seconds, people understand what I do. And so you should have one of those too. You should, when somebody says, what do? You should be able to tell them whether you have a big job, a small job, a job you've been doing forever, a job you've only started, or you're a stay-at-home parent, whatever that is, 30-second elevator speech just to explain yourself because people are interested, and then that can trigger conversation or maybe opportunity. So get yourself a 30-second elevator speech and practice it. Practice it so you're ready to go. And then the song of the week, oh, this one's so fun. And I play it quite often as I walk into the gym because it gives me a little extra pep in my step. It's called Little Boo Thing by Paul Russell, and it's a ton of freaking fun. And I'm adding it to the Fitzness playlist on Spotify, which is free. And I want you to download it, and I want you to listen to it while while you're strength training. Yeah, maybe use a TRX, maybe do some push-ups, some squat jumps, some kettlebells. There's a lot of things you can do to Little Boo Thing, but it's a lot of fun and it's an earwig. So plan to sing it over and over and over after you get it in your head. Thank you again for listening. I love you so much, and keep an eye out because that book cover is coming soon along with pre-sale. Thanks for being my besties, guys. Get to work. Bye, team. Mwah.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gift the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children the chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Kohler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.